to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, this time around in English, as you may already have noticed. And today I want to show you 3 different games again, which will be Onet, Connect, Hovercraft, Getaway and TerraGenesis. My name is Jared, and as always I've got a couple of different things with me, which are for instance an Arc mouse here. We are going to have the Foldable keyboard, which is this keyboard here in this episode too. And there could be the Xbox One wireless controller, but we are not going to use it in this episode. And other than that, there is of course the main device in this case, which is the smartphone with an USB-C connector down below. It's a Windows 10 mobile smartphone with Continuum enabled support, of course. At the back we have the Mozo cover, and it's a Lumia 950 XL in this case. Additional to that, we have the display dock, which the smartphone is connected to, and the display dock itself is connected to the TV in this case. And you got this more or less desktop-like experience, which we can, for instance, control here with all the different devices I showed you, and or I have shown you. And in the end, that is more or less what I have to say about that. If you want to know more about Continuum and what you can do with that, please have a look at the corner there. And other than that, let's start with the first game. The first game is Onet Connect. And Onet Connect is a small little game where you can play a Connect game or a Connect puzzle, more or less. So you are going to do something like memory, but with connecting different things. Some people know it as Mahjong, if I'm not wrong, and let's have a look at what that is all about. It has a couple of different advertisements in there, so we will see if we see a couple of them. So there are advertisements like video advertisements at start, like you see here. You cannot. I will turn down the music. You cannot really overjump them, but you can use this button down below here. So if you click on that, then you are going to go to the store, and if you click that away, then you are ready to go and play the game. So click on that, and there is going to be a little bit of banner stuff in here, so before you play and so on. But this one is jumpable, so everything is fine here. So what this game is all about. We have a little bit of music in the background. What this game is really all about is this Onet Connect Classic part. So you are going to select one of the card sections here. So you can, for instance, use this. So animals, you can play with some kind of sweets, and you can play with fruits in this case. I'm going to play it with the animals probably. And the game itself is pretty simple. You're going to select different animals here, and they should be the same. But you need to have a connection to be able to do a connection to between them both. So those should work. If, for instance, I would select that one and let's say that one, that's not going to work because they are not connectable with each other. So if I click on 2 of them, which are close to each other, so this one is not possible. Just use this, it's the easiest way. And for instance, you can select those because they are connectable in between. So you really have to get the ones out here. So the whole game itself is about finding these little icons which are the same, connecting them to each other. As you can see, you only can have 2 turns. If you have more than 2 turns in the connection, then it's not going to work. And just connect them, try to get rid of them. You have a little bit of a timer here, so if you need too much time for that, you're going to lose this game. And if, for instance, you don't know what's going on here, or you are just not finding the right combination, which is going to happen sooner or later. So, as you can see now, I'm a little bit stuck at the moment. Let's see if I can find another one. No, I can't. So if you are stuck, just click on the magnifier here. If you do that, then he is going to give you a suggestion which one you can use here. And the other one is more or less to mix all the cards again. And after that, you can probably find other connections too. And yeah, this is more or less what the game is all about. Now try to get rid of all the cards. And if you did that, then you are going to get a couple of different points. You can see them here. The points are, there are different options. So if you, for instance, want a star, and for this game you're playing here, you have to reach a certain amount of points, and this is more or less what that is all about. And yeah, there is not too much more to say about this game, if you ask me. Just try to connect all of these, get the whole, get the whole playfield empty of cards, and if you did that, then you are ready to go and ready to play the next game. I think there is some kind of a difference when you play the next game, so it's going to be a little bit harder than the first one, for instance. So I'm not exactly sure if there is some kind of a difficulty level or if you're going to go to a higher level or something, but it might be the case. Yeah, let's see if I can get rid of all of them here, so I can show you the screen that is going to be available afterwards then. Not sure if we can connect all of these, but it really looks pretty good in this case, so we are going to do that now. And we are through, and as you can see, 3,600 points, that is the maximum you can achieve, I think, and because of that we get 500 additional points on there. And as you can see, this is now our final score, and you can just go on and play this all over again and go to the next levels and stuff like that. Yeah, if you want to play that a little bit longer, have a look at the game. It's a nice one, but I think I like the next one a little bit better. It's Hovercraft Getaway. Hovercraft Getaway is a small little game about hovercrafts, of course, where you have to drive a hovercraft around and try to get rid of, it's this one, and try to get rid of police cars, more or less, or police hovercrafts or whatever. I'm going to change my position here, because this is a very fast-paced game. And yeah, what's going to happen here is we are going to have a look from the top on the game. And we are going to drive around with a small little hovercraft, as I mentioned before, and trying to avoid obstacles and trying to avoid the police cars. And we are shooting at the police cars. Shooting is done automatically, so you don't have to do that by yourself. But the other cars are just trying to get you too. So try to really avoid them. You can play the game, of course, with touch, or you are going to use WASD. As you can see, it's this little kind of voxel-based 3D we are going to have here. There are different options. For instance, you can change the car you are driving with or the hovercraft you are driving with. Of course, you have to buy them after a while. There are different options here. Then you can, of course, have a different... yeah, this is a game. You can buy stuff in here. You don't have to, it's a start at least. And you can, for instance, open this war chests or whatever you want to call that. If you do that, you get some kind of an advertisement in this case. Okay, and now we are able to get rid of that. And here is more or less this war chest. We can open that. And we get an upgrade part here. Okay. And a couple of different other things. And of course we can have a look at the options in this game. So the options are pretty easily explained. We have effects, we have notices if you want to. I would deactivate that. We have music and not too much more. After that, just click on this game. As mentioned before, use the WASD to control this, the hovercraft. You are driving automatically, so you're really going forward automatically. And as you can see, we are going to have this kind of position from the top down. and after that we can just move around here and try to kill all the different police cars which are going to run after us. Everything you really have to do is to try to live as long as possible. You are going to fire at them. As far as I know, they are not going to fire back at you, but they are trying to connect with you, and connecting with you is a bad thing, of course. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And as you can see, you have a certain amount of shield down below, and I'm going to die at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to die. As you can see, you have a certain amount of shield, of course, at the moment, and you're going to get different options, different money parts and stuff like that in here, before you're going to go to the next round, more or less. And it's all about trying to stay alive as long as you can. And my record was 6,240 at the moment. But as you can see, you can just play this on and on and try to live as long as you can, and that is more or less what the game is all about. Let's try one additional time here. Give it a second to load in this case. And there we are again. Click on play, and let's try it once again. 1 and go. Okay, so just try to avoid the obstacles. I really like the optic of the game. It's quite like Tron in a little bit at least, but not exactly. It's a little bit hard sometimes to see which is really up, and so which kind of geometry is standing up and which is not. But in the end, just try to avoid everything that is really throwing a shadow. This is more or less what you can see it at least a little bit from. And just try to get the cars here killed. After that, as you can see, they are going to fire at you, sometimes with some kind of a rocket or something, I'm not sure. And all you really have to do here is... Now I have to be a little bit cautious because they really got me. But as it seems, I get quite far. I think we just got the... Yeah, we just got the high score. And yeah, now I'm going to die. But as you can see, just try to do that. Try to grab the power-ups which are thrown or which are left behind by dead enemies. And this is more or less what the game is all about. We have 9,340 points at the moment, so try to do it again and play longer than that. Okay. So I would say there's not much to say about this game anymore. So just have a look at the different hovercrafts there. If you want to play another hovercraft, just try that. Of course, the hovercraft is behaving a little bit different than, for instance, a car or something. It's drifting. So just try that out if you like it. I pretty much like it. It's a nice little game to play from time to time. So try it out. Okay, and then let's have a look at the last game in this mashup, and that is TerraGenesis. And TerraGenesis is really a pretty complex game, and I'm not going to be able to show you everything, but just to show you the game itself, and yeah, just try it out yourself afterwards. I will click on TerraGenesis and we will have a look at this. There's a really extensive tutorial for all the different things, the little buttons and stuff like that that is in this game. So just try to play that one. What the game is all about is more or less you are going to go to Mars at start and afterwards to other planets, and you are trying to create a new colony there. And yeah, this is more or less a little, as you can see, a little game. Little is really a small underestimation here. But yeah, in the end we are on Mars at the moment, and we have built a colony. And what you are going to do here is you are going to create the colony, you're going to create different terraforming effects, you're going to try to get new mines to be built here, habitats to be built so people can live in them, and you are just trying to get the parts on here. Just to let you know, if you are not in the game and you didn't press the pause button, there's a pause button somewhere, I think at the left below, I'm not sure, we will see, then the game is running on. So all the different actions and stuff like that are necessary to play the game are going to be still running, and you will have to really react to them all after one after another. As you can see, we are in the year 2039. That's a little bit early if you ask me, but whatever. And yeah, let's have a look at the different options we have here and the different stuff. The 3D graphics are a little bit, stucky, whatever. They are really not that smooth, but it really doesn't matter too much. So if you want to play this is more or less business or an economics simulator, and you're going to play that. So let's have a look at the different options we have here. For instance, we can have a look at the statistics of this little part we already have here. I already created a small little colony here with a city, and you're going to manage the city. I'm going to click on this, which is population. It's in German at the moment, sorry for that. But you really don't have to know that much to understand it. So these are the cities. Städte means cities. And this first city is called Quapire or something. It has a population of 170. And if we click on that, we can have a look at that city. And as you can see, we have two different habitat entries here, which are more or less just houses or whatever you want to call it. Since at the moment Mars is not livable, or is not really, there is no atmosphere and stuff like that, so you can't breathe, we have to go with habitats. But after you really got into the game more and more, you're going to go in there and get more and more options for building stuff, doing other stuff, playing with all of these. You can, for instance, if you're not all the time in this game, use one of the people here to do all of this for you. There are cards available you are going to get each and every day, and those cards can be used to play with. As you can see, we don't have a card for that now. So let's use this governor here, and the governor can be put to one of these habitats in this case. So as you can see, this habitat is one at level 1. It has 994 people living in there, and it has a different level part here. So what I will do, you can for instance upgrade that. And if you do that, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, of course, and you can get a couple of different things too. So, but for now, let's have a look at how to build new habitats on new cities and stuff like that, because that is pretty easy and pretty interesting. As you can see, if you click on that, you can click on population in this case, and after that we can, for instance, build another habitat part. Or, if you don't want to do that, we can, for instance, build a new go out here, give me a sec. You can, for instance, build a new city and stuff like that. It's really interesting. So, build a new city, click on that. This is more or less the icon we got for our society here. Because if you're going to go to Mars or something, there is going to be a new society which is going to be developed there. They're going to tell you everything about that. Very, very interesting. And as you can see, we have Occupier and Kasai as an additional outpost here. And in this case, we can, for instance, have a look at the different the different maps situations here. For instance, this is a height map, and the brighter the stuff is, the higher it is. And it's very important for you, for instance, to put the city you are going to build in at a very high spot, because sooner or later we are going to terraform Mars, and in this situation you should be on a very high position here, for instance there, because otherwise, oh, and okay, those two are too close to each other. I'm not sure if I can find a very good spot for that, additional to that, but sooner or later there will be some kind of an ocean coming to this world, and because of that we will have to have a look where it's built. At the moment this would be 11 kilometers above the ground level, so this should be a good option. You can, for instance, give it your own name if you want to, or you just click on build, and it should be going to be built at this position, at least if I have enough money. Let's see, I think that is 10 kilometers. Let's try to find a good position that's 10 kilometers too above the ground level. As mentioned before, you should use a pretty high part. That's only 9. Okay, so whatever, try to put one here. 11 over the ground level. Let's do that. And after that, we got our first Organugu city. In this case, we have an habitat entry there with 85 habs, and that should be fine for now. So go back. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to go back, if you ask me. You really have to click on the exactly right position here. Come on. Yeah, now. And as you can see, we have 2 cities now in this space, and with that, of course, our population has been upgraded. So let's have a look at something different. For instance, you have to research stuff. So science is a pretty important thing, because, for instance, you want to get a terraform planet, and of course there are different options here too. So science to research stuff. And population, as you already have seen, we have some kind of cultural stuff. So if you want, for instance, to do the culture points here, you're going to get culture points, for instance, for the habitation. So the more people are living in this case on the planet, the more you will get points for that. And of course, you will have to more or less balance different parts here, or different governmental stuff. For instance, the economy, the government itself, how much you are going to do for nature and stuff like that, and which kind of values you are trying to get. So, for instance, there's an option between more knowledge and more of wealth and stuff like that. And it's really pretty interesting situation you are in here. So if you click on one of them, you can, for instance, go for one of these different positions. So you can be more ecological friendly, so nature friendly, or climate friendly, or whatever you want to call it. And you can be more industrial, for instance. And of course, you just have to try to weight those 2 different options to each other in a pretty good way. And everything of this is more or less about that. So just weigh those 2 different options you have there to each other and try to get the right one. In between, you're always getting, I clicked it away pretty fast now, but in between you are getting all the different informations which are going to tell you something about all of these. And just let's click on the next one. So at the moment we are not going to go to the space again. We are at the planet for now, but we can of course go there later on. And as the biosphere is the same, and here's the government stuff. I'm not sure if we can do that. Yeah, this is more or less a government. The people we can, for instance, use to for instance, rule one of our cities and help them to grow better and stuff like that. But let's have a look. We could, for instance, create a new temperature regulation part here. We already are doing that at the moment. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time. There are this kind of Genesis points, it is called 18 Genesis points. You can use that to make it faster. But in the end, we have only one laboratory at the moment, so we are going to only do the science or research for one of those technologies here. And but you don't have to do that if you want. You can, for instance, get this to get more options here. All of this is, of course, costing you Genesis points or credits. Those are the two things you are going to handle here. And if you click, for instance, on this, you can have a look what's going on your planet at the moment. So this is Mars, of course. You're going to have different other planets later on if you're in the space time, more or less. So you're going to have to build this one up first, and after that you're going to a next planet, and you can switch between them and stuff like that. And there are a couple of other options available in this game. I'm not going to be able to tell you everything about the game and how it works and stuff at the moment, but I would highly advise you to have a look at this game if you like this kind of businessly or I don't know, building simulator, whatever, colony simulator, then this is a pretty nice one. Try it out, it's really nicely done. Of course, you have to go back and forth to go in here. It's more or less going to be in real time, not really, of course, but in the end, you're going to be in real time in here. You see, we get different credits here all the time, so we are generating credits. We are going to pay for things like the researchers and stuff like that. And for that we are going to do that. And we are, of course, needing those different things there. Yeah, and other than that, if you are in here, for instance, you can see we have a problem with our income. So this is more or less what they are going to advise you. Yeah. Okay, and here is a new option. So in this case we are going to have a meteor, so some kind of an asteroid which is going to fall down on our Mars here. And for that he's going to destroy one of our habitation entries, so more or less one of our buildings there, and we have to pay for that, so that it's not going to happen because they can more or less destroy the asteroid and stuff like that. So you're going to get all different kinds of interactions with this game. Just try it out. It's really hard to show you everything in this case. Let's turn down the volume a little bit. It's really hard to show you everything in this game, but if you like this kind of simulator game and you are going to simulate this colony in this case, just try it out. I think it's a pretty nice one and you should have a look at it. Okay, and this is more or less the end of this episode. I hope you had fun with it and that there was one or two of the games you want to try out. If so, please let me know in the comments down below, of course. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, and of course, if you want to subscribe to this channel, I would be blessed to welcome you here. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. We will see us in the next episode, probably around Saturday next week. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Have a nice day, have a nice week, and bye.